Welcome back to Playing Voodoo. I'm your host Derek, and joining me today is Martin. How you doing, Martin?
Pretty good. Feels a little bit empty today, doesn't it?
It does. We're missing one of our co-hosts, Alex. He's no longer with us.
The tribe has spoken. He's gone.
We voted him out. He's unable to join us for the remainder of the season, as he found a girl that he wants to spend some time with, so he's out doing that. But yeah, so I know I said our last episode that we did publish, which was 2 weeks ago, that we wouldn't be taking 2 weeks off again, because at the time I was sick, and
holidays came around too.
We took 2 weeks off again. Just timing, yeah. Thanksgiving was last week. I was celebrating with my family. But yeah, we're happy. Survivor is back. And what an episode for Emily. I think we should just really jump right into all the moves she made this episode, Martin. And since you drafted her with your first pick to your team.
I did. I got a lot of flack for that. But it's paying off so far, man. No, I think this was a good episode for Emily, especially because I know you talked about it. She's been kind of invisible since, not invisible, but she's been under the radar since like the merge, basically. Mm-hmm. So it's good to see that she's getting a really good episode.
She has, it looks like she has more agency in this game.
Yeah.
Like previously, we saw she had this tight bond with Caleb, and Caleb was enemy number one, and she couldn't do anything to stop it. And then since then, she's
kind of slid in with
Reba
for the right people, which is the Reba 4.
Yep.
So, yeah, good episode for her.
Yes, and going back to episode 1, she eliminated her initial target, that being Bruce. Bruce is now gone, 2-time Survivor player. Mm-hmm. I drafted Bruce to my team, so I gave him the 3rd round in our Survivor 45 draft. Unfortunately, he didn't make it farther, but he did outlast Kelly.
Kelly.
I've been saying that I was upset that I drafted Bruce over Kelly, but I guess in the end, hey, he lasted longer, so I outlasted her.
So I know we didn't record for the past couple episodes, but they've given him, I think, me and you talked about it while we were watching the episode, they've given him, as of late, a pretty good edit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I would love to see Bruce back, actually. I think Bruce, 3rd time.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only
bring him back
musical player to play twice, technically.
Yeah.
If you count the first one.
Yeah, and he went on a little run with the immunity challenges. Mm-hmm. I mean, he found an idol. He went home with the idol, but hey, he had a good showing.
Yes, I'm not sure Uncle Bruce was exactly the move. His social play was definitely lacking.
Yes.
Social awareness.
He did know how to read people, though.
True.
They showed it. Not tonight, but they did show it a few times where he kind of knew what was going on.
That's true.
So wasn't well liked, but I think he played pretty well for.
Yeah, and now we are left with 7 castaways. Those seemingly working together. It's pretty much 6 people possibly working together, and then Jake on the outside. But those 6 people are Katura, Emily, and then the Reba 4. Those being Julie D, Austin, and Drew.
How close do you think Katura is with them, though?
She's a vote. I don't think she's close, but she's not next. Jake's next.
She's probably in that spot between Jake and, I guess, the next rung on the ladder.
I think she's in a good enough spot to where Reba could cannibalize the Reba 4, cannibalize each other, and that could move her forward.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Emily is in that spot as well.
Yes. Because I think eventually this Reba 4 is going to implode on each other. Mm-hmm. And if you're Emily or Katura, then you want to be in
They've all been the same moves. Like, how do you separate your games? It's either... That's an interesting question. Okay. I want to pose this to you, Martin. Totally off topic. What is your take on the Reba 4? So say you were in that 4, right? Would you want to take someone on the end that played a similar game and knowing that you might be able to pitch your case better than them? Or would you want to take people that played different games than you and you think you still played the better game?
I would probably want to take people that played a different game than me. Mm-hmm. And if I really pay attention, just people who don't have the jury vote. So like a guy like Bruce would have been great because he just wasn't well liked at camp. And I think a lot of it comes down to like the game you played, but also just the relationships you make.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce didn't have much, so he would have been a great one. I think Jake is pretty much in the same boat that Bruce was. But yeah, I don't think I would want to bring that many people that played in my alliance.
That's fair. No, that's a valid answer. Speaking of building those relationship and those bonds, we saw this episode. They went to the sanctuary
where good things happen.
Emily won the reward challenge, and she got to choose 3 others to go with her. I was telling Martin right away she's gonna probably choose the women. That's what did happen.
That's exactly.
It makes sense. That connection was forming, and we were on the same page that one of these women are not going home tonight. Like it's just not happening.
And then it gave us, I think, one of the most interesting montages I've ever seen, where it was a boys' night at camp.
Yes.
I've never seen it. Yeah, it was background, but it was like lyrical background music, so it had vocals.
And it was kind of overbearing the actual audio of the castaways speaking.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
Probably not a good edit for the guys, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't plan for this 90 minutes, and they just hey, we gotta give these guys a montage. I don't know.
Yeah. Or the boys just did nothing else.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. That's probably all the footage they got out of them. I was just hanging out at camp and fishing. So,
what else? I'm just gonna jump all over the place. So, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention we got an auction last episode, previous episode, in episode 9. Love it. If you've listened to Plan Voodoo since episode 1, which I know none of you have because we don't have many listeners.
We have a few.
Alex and I have been preaching. We wanted the auction back, and the auction was fun this time around.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the game aspect.
Thumbs up on the auction, right?
Thumbs up on the auction. Thumbs up. Kind of knew how it was going to play out with Bruce getting the short end of the stick, getting shafted there, and it was fun.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I think the only thing, and I told you about it, with the whole aspect of if you have the most money, you lose your vote. I think it got to a point where it was very predictable.
Yes.
Because, if you're stuck with all this money, you're going to buy the next item. Mm-hmm. No one's going to outbid you. So I'm just hoping there's a way to work around that or fix that when they hopefully bring it back.
I think the only workaround is not saying how many items they're going to sell in general.
Yeah.
Because having that saying we're going to sell 5, you can game it a bit and then put all your money on the 6th item that comes up.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, yeah. I enjoy
but then you'd have everyone trying to spend their money right away.
Right away in the first 5.
Away. Yeah. And it could be the shittiest thing. Shittiest food.
Or it could be a thing where you don't show them who has what. Because they had that big board next to Jeff where it's like Emily had this much, Bruce had that much. So everyone knew what everyone had. Mm-hmm. So you could
make it a blind auction.
Yeah, you could just make it a blind auction.
I do like that.
So yeah, there's always that, but that's a good return though. I liked it.
What else? We also missed the Kelly.
Big old
vote
Kelly
out blindside. Shocking. We had Kelly near the top of our power rankings previously.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
Very shocking.
To be honest, I mean, parlaying into our power rankings. I'm not sure if there's anything else to really touch on this episode. Pretty straightforward episode.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. The challenge wasn't anything too crazy. We had a moment with Katura kind of, I don't know if she was afraid of water or she just had like a panic attack.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise than that, it kind of played out the way you thought. Austin won.
Yep. First immunity win.
Yeah. His first ends Bruce's run of immunity wins.
Slay the dragon.
Yeah, he did.
The Dragon Slayer.
Do you want to jump into kind of Emily's play? Because I think her play was getting Bruce comfortable so he doesn't play as idol and he goes home. Is that like a good move for her? Is that a big move that she can boast about?
I think so, to be honest. The whole idea was to flush the idol, but why not just get Bruce out in general? He's shown he's more than capable of winning a mini challenge. He won 2 in a row, while Jake, on the other hand, he's not struggled, but he's not fared the best.
Yeah.
So eliminating Bruce from the picture it's massive because But I don't know. Actually, I'm a little torn now. I guess Jake's still an easy vote, but Bruce was such a big target that like him staying in the game would allow like players like Emily to just cozy on by.
There's that. I was just checking out some online stuff, and people were like, they could use this to take out one of the three before because they're the big power four right now. So you can also make that argument of she could have made a move there.
Mm-hmm.
But
she might have lost her time unless they cannibalize on each other. I think she's banking on
that. I mean, they kind of showed it too, where the remaining Bello people are they're tough to work with.
They're gonna be picked off.
Yeah. So I think it's a good move for Emily, where she really doesn't want to tie down with those.
Mm-hmm. They're erratic.
Yeah, those Bello people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's a good move.
Let's get into our power rankings. So, to be honest, I don't know where we had our rankings previously.
Well, we can just start from scratch then.
So we're essentially starting from scratch.
And I think we have an idea who's at the bottom. Right.
Jake.
Okay.
Jake. My first pick in our Survivor 45 draft. It's unfortunate, but he put himself in a spot. He really dug himself a deep hole this episode. I thought he was going to go home until we saw this whole thing flipping with Emily and her desire to get Bruce to go home instead.
And I think going forward, that's kind of is the plan. Is Jake is always going to be that he either is the vote or he's like the ricochet vote or the fallback plan.
He's self-sabotaging himself. You saw the little tiff he had with Drew on the beach. Like, there's no going back.
No.
Like, they can't work together.
Yeah.
And Drew has a lot of sway in this game. So Jake's
at the bottom.
He's number 7. Yeah. To be honest, he should be lower than 7. He's in a tier much below everyone else.
Yeah.
Much below.
We're in the same boat there.
Number 6. Purely based on the... It's one of two people.
I'll throw out a name here.
Okay.
Katurah.
Okay. I was thinking Katurah or Julie.
I would move Julie above Katurah. I mean, it's not too...
That's fair.
Too big? I think Julie's just in a better spot.
It's just more edit-based.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Julie from, which is why I have her at 6. But
yeah. And they've been giving Julie a lot more as of late, too.
She still has the least confessionals.
She's still... Yeah, she is. But I feel like
she still has less than Caleb.
I feel like I've been seeing her more on screen than late.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm fine with Katurah. Katurah's she's in a better position than Jake because she's worked with... Well,
Emily.
She worked with Emily previously. She worked with her for this vote, and she worked with Austin D and Julie when they took out Caleb when Jake was on the wrong side. So
and I think she worked with Julie on this vote too. They both voted on the same one.
Yeah.
So yeah, she has voting connections.
She has a bit of agency in this game. We saw her try to make a move on Julie. Seemed like maybe it could go that way. Emily wasn't keen to it though, so obviously what Katurah has to say doesn't mean as much to the overall story that Survivor is giving us. So I'm comfortable having her 6.
And she did win the war against Bruce.
She did.
She's the last one standing.
She is the last one standing. It was honestly, it was kind of weird. It felt a little bit, I don't know if we actually mentioned it. It felt like Francesca and Philip. Coral. Those are, you'll get to those seasons.
I will get to those eventually.
It's like 22 and 26.
Was it kind of like
They played together twice.
Okay. Is it like anticlimactic, I guess? Like you really did
it ends quick. Both times.
Both times? Okay. Well, I'm talking about this one with Bruce
Bruce
and
So.
Katurah.
Because only so because we saw that Katurah wanted to get Julie out.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. I'm like.
And then Bruce goes home.
And then Bruce goes home because she voted. I don't know. Yeah. Katurah's got to be 6. And number 5, I would pitch Julie here.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I think out of the 3 before, and then Emily, she the bottom of that group.
Agreed. She's hasn't really played a distinctive game compared to them. And we've seen more of them. We saw Dee direct the previous vote in which they got Kendra out. Austin has 2 idols. Drew has a lead tribal council, and Austin and Drew were integral in pulling Emily into their bunch. So Julie's kind of just sitting there. She's done pretty well in the challenges, but that's not enough to.
Yeah, I don't think she really has a claim to any moves that have been made so far this season. She's kind of just been on the right side of the boat with those four. So, yeah, like how you mentioned earlier, when you go forward with people who have been making the same moves as you, she's the one that really has that trouble just because she's...
That's the one you want to take to the end.
Yeah, you want to take her...
Yeah.
If you're, Austin, D, or...
Which
Drew.
It's in contrast to what they were saying at Tribal Council. Calling her Mama Julie, and that...
Everyone likes her.
Who wants to take someone named Mama to the top 3, which is Katura's pitch. It's quite in contrast, but I don't think she would get any votes, to be fair.
I mean, she might get like that one vote from like a Reba person, but I don't know.
I will say for an older player, she does have a better edit than they typically give in the new seasons, like Heather in 41.
Yeah, that's a good example of an older player that got basically nothing.
Yeah.
And she's killed that at challenges too. So like before this one, she was the final 2 of Bruce, I think, in back-to-back ones.
Yep.
So yeah, good for her. But she lands at, was that 6, 5?
5. So would we say Jake's in his own tier and then these two are in their own tier? Katura and Julie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that.
And then, to be fair, I'd probably put the next 3 in a tier. Does that make sense for you?
Do you think Austin and Drew are kind of interchangeable? That's
somewhat. The only I could see Drew being in his own tier.
Okay.
But that's getting ahead.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah, just throw out some names.
Let's put the two lovebirds at 3 and 4 in some order.
Austin and D.
I'm more inclined to say D's 4.
And Austin 3.
Because her name's been thrown out there a lot compared to Austin. I have not heard Austin's name at all. And Austin does have at least one idol. At least one. Julie might have the other. And she might keep it. But yeah, I just feel like he's in a pretty good spot.
Yes.
Now, he's not the one driving the game.
D is the one driving.
D and Drew. Yeah.
And D gets a lot of credit from the other castaways too. Because it's always brought up in some form or fashion. D is the one in charge, right? Emily has said that. I think Katura might have mentioned it this episode. So people know that she's winning a pretty strong game.
But will she ever have an opportunity to take Austin out? Like, would they turn on each other? He has 2 immunity. Well, at least 1 immunity.
He has 1 immunity win. He has an idol.
So it's
maybe
like
2.
Can she take, will there even be a chance,
Yeah.
That's why I'd lean her being 4.
D also has a guaranteed kind of person to take her is Julie, because Julie's been on record saying, I want to take D with me to the final.
And that's dangerous. People would want to split that up.
Yes. Okay. All right, I'm fine with D at 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't argue too much.
Okay. And then
D4.
Austin 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Austin, we kind of just explained it. He's in. Yeah, I think we explained it all.
Yeah, he's in a good spot. Do you think this plays out as one of those, like, he has too much and they never get used?
They're gonna get used.
Well, he has to the final 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
there's 7 left.
7 left. Play 1 at 6, play 1 at 5, right?
Presumably. Guarantee yourself final 4 and better not to make fire.
Or you win. Better guarantee you win. You don't make fire, man.
Yeah, we'll put Austin 3, and I think these 2 are in their own tier.
Number 2 is Drew.
Number 2 is Drew. Napoleon Dynamite himself.
A steal.
He's played a good game. Pretty good game. They've really emphasized him building connections.
They've shown a softer side this episode too, which is kind of nice.
With Emily, right? Julie, yeah. It was.
Be able to talk about like backstabbing people and that whole part of the game.
Yeah. He has an enemy now in Jake. That's not good.
But it's an enemy that doesn't have too much sway, though.
No, yeah. Jake has no agency in this game. But yeah, I probably need to do some research and clarity. Martin believes that his power to leave tribal council is no longer active. From my understanding, it possibly is. I could be wrong. I think Martin's researching right now.
So. That's my quick Google search right now.
I'll keep talking. But yeah, Drew, he's built quite a few connections in this game. He's working with, obviously, Dee, Julie, and Austin. He's really been, it seems like, the one that's hammered home his relationship with Emily to get her to align with them. We saw him, like you said, chatting with Julie this episode. Yeah, we even saw him in a precarious position when the tribes got split off into the tribe to 6, and he was the lone Reba member in the Reba 4. And he survived that vote by putting trust into Kelly and others.
Emily, too.
Emily
was part of that one.
Yeah, it was putting trust into Emily to take out Seafood. So, yeah, he's played quite a good game, and then he obviously made the big move to get out Kelly.
So just to jump in, his leave of safety thing that expired at 10. So he doesn't have that anymore.
Interesting.
But
do you think they know that? Well, obviously he knows that, but do you think the others know that? Who even knows about his advantage?
Austin knows.
Only Austin.
Austin knows about it,
right? I don't think the others. Oh, Emily does.
Does Emily know about it?
I think he told Emily.
Yeah.
Or no, they told Emily about Austin's amulet.
Yeah, okay.
That was it.
Now, does Austin know it expired at 10? I don't know.
That's
the thing.
It's a good threat.
Yeah, it is a good threat. I don't know if he really needs it.
It's essentially an idol. Yeah. He uses it, such. A fake idol, I should say. But yeah, I think I covered why Drew's in a pretty good spot. Yeah, anything else to
add? No, I think. Yeah, I think you kind of covered it. Drew's in a good spot with everyone on that beach, so. Yeah.
And then it's in a tier of their own, far, far above everyone else. We finally, in my eyes, have a front runner in this game. She started off really poor, then came on strong after the Sabaya vote out, and then fizzled out until this episode, and she blossomed, and that is Emily Flippin.
So you've seen the winners at it. This is the person you think.
What an episode! This is the best episode.
It was a good episode for Emily.
It's the best episode from a Survivor player this season, easily.
Yeah,
easily. She won reward. She took 3 women to get food and to sleep overnight on a bed or pillows and such. So she's building a tighter connection there. On top of that, she convinced Bruce not to place idol tonight. So it's like she's finally making moves in this game. Now I need to see her make a massive move.
Now, when would she make that? Is she going to hold off a little bit later?
It's probably going to be like 6.
Because I think she has to wait until that Reba 4 start turning on each other.
Which is probably going to be like 6, once Jake's gone.
Oh, according to the preview. It's next episode.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I think it's one of those, she waits until they start imploding, and then she can jump in and be on the right side of whichever pair comes out or trio comes out of that group. Because I would imagine it's Austin, Drew, and then Jake.
I would imagine they come out on top. I mean, we had them 2 and 3, so.
Yeah. So she just has to be on the right side of whenever that group kind of caves in. But yeah, good episode for her. Especially after the past couple, I think.
Or we see it's the first episode out of the last 2 that we see a man went home. So now the women have the numbers again. Could we see the women? So maybe we see Jake get taken out, and then Drew and Austin are just there for pickings, even with their advantages.
Little girls' alliance from the
possibly
Sanctuary.
Yeah, Sanctuary Alliance.
Yeah, I mean they all seem pretty tight knit. I don't know.
Bonding
possibility.
Experience. Yeah. Yeah, she's played an outstanding game. I do want to note we lost one of our last two Matt Chat speakers, and that was Bruce. Now Emily was not called on by Jeff,
but she did speak.
But she did speak up and intervene. So for the sake of that, I know Alex is including it, so I will include it as well. And we know Survivor history says in this new school era, Jeff talks to you on the mat and they show it,
you win.
You're gonna win. So yeah. And right now it looks like she's gonna win. So
yeah, she's the last one left from there, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that wraps up our power rankings. So just to recap, at number 7 in their own tier, Jake. At number 6, at number 5 in their own tier, that is Katura and Julie. At number 4 and 3 in their own tier is Dee and Austin. At number 2 in their own tier is Drew, and at number 1 is Emily. That kind of wraps up our episode. I'm not sure we really want to do next boot. I don't know.
Do you kind of have a sense?
Jake.
Yeah, I think Jake.
Yeah. I don't really see the Reba 4 combusting next episode. It's possible, but I just don't.
Possibility. If they do combust, who do you think it would be?
We haven't had... Usually you have smoke before there's fire. We haven't had the smoke yet between that 4, you know?
Yeah.
So I it's got to be Jake in my mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to follow us on Spotify and or YouTube, wherever you're listening. Give us a like. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. This is Plan Voodoo, where Bruce should have played his idol.